The tension between Shedeur Sanders and Dillon Gabriel has quietly transformed into one of the most talked-about rivalries in football. A feud fueled not by touchdowns or tackles, but by words, tone, and timing. What started as subtle shade has spiraled into a public battle for respect and recognition, with each quarterback representing two very different narratives. Dillon Gabriel, the NFL rookie eager to prove himself, seemed calm on the surface during press conferences, composed, measured, the image of professionalism. But behind that calm exterior, his comments cut deep. "We can only control what we can control," he said, dodging specifics. "I don't want to speak for anyone in particular." Yet in context, everyone knew who he was referring to. His words were dripping with implication, the kind that doesn't need to name names to land a punch. The spark ignited when Shedeur Sanders clapped back at criticism from media. Figures like Rex Ryan. After enduring weeks of claims that he wasn't putting in the work, Shadur fired back, not with words but through a viral mime interview. It was subtle, defiant, and clever, but that single act of self-expression became the target of Dillon Gabriel's next round of comments. He couldn't resist chiming in, posting that he wasn't worried about what others were saying in Shadeur's defense. Instead, he described himself as a team-oriented player, a statement that sounded innocent enough until you realized it was an obvious jab. From there, the situation escalated. Gabriel doubled down, talking about his process, preparation, and focus. "There's entertainers and there's competitors," he said, "and my job is to compete." It was a sentence that sent shockwaves through the sports world, not because of what it said, but because of who it seemed directed at. The subtext was clear. Shedeur Sanders, in his eyes, wasn't a competitor, he was an entertainer. The hypocrisy wasn't lost on anyone. Gabriel's comments were instantly defended by media figures like Colin Cowherd, who argued that Gabriel wasn't aiming at Shadur at all. "That was not a shot at Shedeur Sanders," Cowherd insisted. "Shame on everybody that said it was. He was taking a shot at the media." But the timing, tone, and history between the two told a different story. It's hard to believe Gabriel was targeting the media when his words fit so neatly into the ongoing narrative against Shadur. The double standard is impossible to ignore. If Shadur had said the exact same thing about another player, the backlash would have been immediate. Headlines would scream arrogance. Analysts would dissect his character. Fans would flood social media with outrage. But Dillon? He walked away unscathed, his competitor versus entertainer remark brushed off as confident professionalism. It's the same playbook that's been used for years, different standards for different players depending on how they're perceived, and perception is everything. Shedeur Sanders has never been afraid to speak his mind. He's vocal about his belief in his talent, his work ethic, and his place in the league. He said openly that he believes he's better than some current NFL quarterbacks, a statement that sent critics into a frenzy. But beneath the confidence, there's frustration. He's done the work, stayed patient, learned the system, and yet he's still being treated like a headline instead of a player. "I'm just enjoying myself, learning, doing everything I have to do," he said recently. "Just ready for my opportunity." That's the difference. While Shadur talks from a place of ambition, Gabriel speaks from a place of comparison. And when ambition meets insecurity, things get messy fast. The feud deepened when Rex Ryan decided to throw gasoline on the fire. Known for his blunt commentary, Ryan didn't hold back. He accused Shadur of not putting in the effort to earn a starting position and questioned his dedication. It wasn't constructive criticism, it was a takedown, sharp and personal. For Shadur, who's been under a microscope since college, it was just another example of how easily narratives are spun against him. So he responded, not with anger, but with confidence. He clapped back in his own way, using his platform to challenge the narrative. But that's when Dillon Gabriel stepped in again, calling himself a team player who doesn't care about outside noise. It was yet another veiled dig, the kind designed to sound righteous while twisting the knife just a little deeper. It's ironic, really. Gabriel's comments about unity and teamwork sound noble on paper, but in practice, they've done the opposite, dividing fans, splitting opinions, and amplifying a rivalry that was already simmering. He speaks about creating momentum for each other, yet his own words have disrupted that very momentum. And here's the truth. The media plays a huge role in shaping this divide. When Gabriel speaks, they frame it as leadership. When Shadur speaks, they frame it as ego. When Gabriel throws shade, it's seen as competitive fire. When Shadur responds, it's immaturity. It's not about what's said, it's about who's saying it. This double standard has followed Shadur since the beginning. When he celebrates, they call it arrogance. When he stays quiet, they call it disengaged. When he defends himself, they call it drama. The same traits that make other quarterbacks fiery or passionate are turned into flaws when they come from him. It's a cycle that never ends, and Shedur's patience is wearing thin. Still, despite the noise, both players are preparing for something bigger, the inevitable showdown. The day they finally face off on the field will be more than just a game. It'll be the culmination of months of tension, pride, and public perception. For Dillon Gabriel, it's the chance to prove he's not just a talker, but a leader who can back up his words. For Shadur Sanders, it's the opportunity to silence the doubters once and for all, and show that the confidence everyone mocks is actually justified. Their rivalry isn't just about football anymore. It's about image, reputation, and who controls the story. Gabriel wants to be seen as the steady hand, the quiet professional who plays for the team. Shadur wants to be recognized for his talent, his drive, and his refusal to fit into a mold. They're two sides of the same coin, each chasing respect in their own way, each frustrated by how the other is perceived. As this feud grows, fans are choosing sides. Some see Gabriel as the model teammate, disciplined and humble. Others see Shadur as the victim of unfair treatment, a young star punished for being unapologetically himself. Both men are aware that every word, every post, every play now carries more weight than ever before. The tension has become electric. What started as a few jabs online has evolved into a full-blown rivalry that the entire league is watching. When they finally meet head-to-head, it won't just be about who throws more yards, it'll be about pride, validation, and proving who truly belongs in the spotlight. Because in the end, this isn't just about football. It's about the right to be seen for who you are. Dillon Gabriel wants to define success by teamwork. Shadur Sanders wants to define it by authenticity. And somewhere in the middle lies the truth, a reminder that confidence isn't arrogance and silence isn't weakness. So what do you think? Is Dillon Gabriel genuinely focused on the team, or is he using his words to mask personal rivalry? Is Shadur Sanders too outspoken, or is he simply tired of being misunderstood? And when these two finally meet on the field, who do you think will rise above the noise? Let us know your thoughts below, and if you're following this rivalry as closely as we are, don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and stay tuned for more. The battle between Gabriel and Sanders is far from over, and the next chapter might just be the most explosive yet.